Hello Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising. Welcome to my channel. It is such a blessing to be here with you, so thank you for being here with me for your January 2024 Tarotscope. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to connect with you. In the description box below, you will find links to information on personal readings, the Soul Good membership channel on Telegram, and ways to support the work I do here if you would like to explore any of those options. You will also find a timestamp if you would like to jump to the start of your reading. Please do keep in mind this is a collective reading, not a personal reading, so please use your discernment and take only what resonates with you. If you find that something shared does resonate, please like this video and subscribe to the channel, comment below, and or share this content as it tells YouTube that there may be something valuable here for someone else, which is a gift to both this channel's and to others, and I greatly, greatly appreciate that support. January kicks off, 2024, a number 8 year, encouraging us to step into our personal power, to have faith in our own abilities, and to use them to their highest potential. This is what we're going to be diving into for this month's Tarotscope. I am only going to be using oracle cards for this reading. If you are part of my membership, you've seen me do this before, and it is something that I truly do love doing. I do have tarot out in the case that I might need a little bit more clarity, but the plan is to use just the oracle cards. So let's dive in, Cancer, and see what is coming through for you this month. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Christ, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, tell us about the overall energy of January 2024 for Cancer. Tell us, please, about the overall energy of January 2024 for Cancer. Thank you. That one there's, oh, okay, those as well. All right. Tell us, please, what new level of power and inner strength is being ignited from, okay, thank you, from within Cancer. Tell us, please, what new level of power and inner strength is being ignited from within Cancer. Thank you. Cancer, for some reason I get the feeling that some of you have been dealing with some anxiety. I've noticed that as I've started to tap into your energy, my heart seems to be palpitating. And of course, you've probably noticed that I've been a little bit out of sorts, even with my speech, with picking up the cards, these sorts of things. And I feel as though for some of you, there's this level of almost like feeling all over the place. I feel like, I just feel like there's maybe some anxiety that you might have been dealing with, and almost feeling like you're tripping over yourself. That could be because you have a lot on your plate, of course, but it just feels like very kind of scattered, I think is a good way to put it. Certainly that doesn't have to be for all of you. What's gaining momentum for Cancer this month, January 2024, please? Okay, thank you. Yeah. All right. And what advice or messages will best support and serve Cancer and their journey moving forward, please? All right. I feel like that one as well. Okay. Cancer, the overall energy for you, we do have higher power This is the number 4. I do feel like, Cancer, for some of you at least, there is this energy of being called toward God, source, the universe. I call it God, but certainly, whatever you resonate with. I feel as though there's this calling. It feels almost like being pulled, um, or encouraged, even. This may have been showing up in your reality prior to January, but I definitely feel like if that is true for you, if you are someone who has been feeling more pulled or called toward God, toward more, how do I say this? Toward like your intuition. Maybe it's been growing louder within you. Maybe you've been noticing things a bit differently. I just feel like there's this calling, there's this heightened sense of the more subtle realms. It feels like, again, like your intuition may be speaking louder. It feels like you may be being called toward God or source or universe or spirit. And I feel as though this is to, I feel like there are foundations that are trying to be built, or stability that's trying to be implemented in your connection with that higher power. A knowingness or an awareness or an awakening to God within you. I don't know if you probably can't see that. I'm sorry for the reflection or the glare, but the oracle is here inside of this being. And I feel as though that is what it's almost like wanting you to acknowledge that it is there, wanting you to acknowledge that connection, wanting to illuminate you to new things, new practices, perhaps new understandings, new wisdom, new truths. Yeah, it really does. It feels almost, it feels almost like you're being asked to rest in that. I feel like that will make sense for those who it's for, because there's some sense of, like I was speaking on before we popped into the cards, this like or during the cards, like before we really got into them, this feeling of like anxiety or scatteredness, right? Like kind of tripping over yourself. I feel as though there's this, how do I say this? It's like resting in God, resting in source, and finding more stability there. I hope this makes sense. Um, for those of you who, may be saying or have, some kind of resistance toward God, I just want to say I'm not coming at this from a dogmatic religious perspective on God. Okay. Um, just to make that clear, but I feel like there is a strong desire here to kind of strengthen that connection and to create firm foundations in it. I feel like this is something that is going to benefit you, assist you, aid you, support you moving forward. And again, bring more of that almost like firm footing, or it may even feel like reprieve or relief. I don't even know, for some of you, I don't even know if this feeling of like being kind of like, what is the word? Discombobulated? That's not a word I would use very often, you guys, by the way. So just, if I have it all funky, I apologize. But um, you may have felt like that. And I don't even know that that's something that you've expressed to anyone else necessarily. I feel like it's just like God recognizes it, and I feel like strengthening this connection or the encouragement of this connection is to support you, is to bring things more into balance. to like smooth the troubled waters, as it were, Cancer. We have here for you as well, time for a nap, the number 24. Yeah, um, I feel like with this, it does feel like this, right? It does feel like for some of you, there's this, like maybe, like I said, a lot on your plate. And maybe that's why you feel like you're like here and there and here and there and here and there and here and there. It feels like, oh yeah. And remember, I said, it feels like, you know, God is asking you to rest, right? To rest in it. And here it says time for a nap. Again, there's this energy of, essentially God wanting to hold you, wanting to support you. And there's this crescent moon shape here, or figure, which is okay, so the moon, for example, in the tarot, can be this energy of illusion, or like uncertainty, right? Like not having tremendous clarity. And I feel like for some of you, maybe you've been trying to figure out things from your small self. Now, I'm not saying that to insult anyone, because we're all quite big in our own ways, okay? But in this case, looking at this from like a divine perspective and a human perspective, it feels like you may have been trying to solve things or figure things out, or something from your smaller human self. And it feels like God is just saying, like, rest in me, allow me to bring to you what you cannot see from where you are. I hope that makes sense, because again, that moon energy is coming through as, you know, having this like uncertainty, or not having clarity, or being confused, or having these illusions that may be creating this haze or this fog for you. And with the number 6, 24 reducing to 6, I feel like it wants to bring in that feeling of harmony, and that like cooperation, if you will, between you and God, right? To bring in this like working together. Like you don't have to do it all on your own, right? You don't have to figure it all out. That's what that feels like. So if you are somebody who has been, kind of feeling as I've just described, it's like step back, right? Like step back, rest in God, allow God to bring you the solutions. And there are several stars, which I'm sure you could see on this card. So, when I think of the star, again, I'm being reminded of the tarot, and star being essentially kind of like wishes granted type of deal. And I feel like, again, it's like if you're looking for solutions, if you're looking for answers, if you're looking for the way, allow me to bring that to you. And again, I'm not coming at this from a dogmatic religious perspective, but I am getting that, and I'm not well versed in the Bible either, just to be very clear, but I'm getting that, I believe it's from scripture. Come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. I will give you peace, something like that. Forgive me. But that's what I'm getting. We do have here the number 30, tick tock. So the first thing that I get with this card is I feel like the however it is you're moving, it doesn't feel sustainable. It doesn't feel sustainable. There's this balloon here that's attached to the pocket watch here, And it feels like this running out of steam, like running out of hot air type of thing, like running out of the ability to like keep yourself afloat, to keep going. That's what it feels like. I don't know if this is for somebody very specific, but it does feel like there's an element of this, something not being sustainable, operating at a particular speed or pace, or like continuing to dump energy or time or attention or emotions or thoughts into something that, like, I don't know how to say it. It's like draining. It feels like it's not sustainable. And I feel like that may be coming to your attention. Um, again, you guys, this is so strong for you, because here there are these hands coming out almost to catch that pocket watch and that balloon should it fall. This is the number 30. I do feel like, however this is unfolding for you, it is meant to grow you. It is meant to grow you. It is meant to bring the completion, I feel, of a phase. I feel as though um, there is an energy here of moving you from one way of being to another. Perhaps you're somebody who's been burnt. I don't know why I'm getting this either, but perhaps you're somebody who's been burning the candle at both ends, right? Feeling like there's never enough time to get everything done or figure everything out. And again, it feels like slow down. Like you're not running out of time. It is, yeah, it's that anxiety feeling again, right? Like I just don't feel that this is sustainable. Okay? Again, if this is for you, you will know, it will resonate with you. If it's not, leave it where it is, leave it for somebody else. Okay? But it just feels like there's all of this anxiety or worry or whatever about running out of time, about needing to get everything done, about keeping up some kind of pace or some kind of bearing some kind of load, carrying it all, something like that, which is coming through as not being sustainable and needing to kind of withdraw, right? To retreat from that, to rest. We have here as well, go the distance, the number 47. And what's interesting about this is a card of endurance. It's a card of strength. It's a card of being in it for the long haul. And here's the thing, if you want to endure, if you want to, for example, be in it for the long haul, there's got to be this acknowledgement that life is a marathon, not a sprint. Okay, that everything unfolds in divine time as it should. So if you are, reaching for answers and reaching for solutions and trying to get everything figured out, it's like, listen, it will come. And, continuing to kind of run yourself ragged trying to figure it all out is serving nothing and no one. As a matter of fact, it's more likely that it's doing harm, right? Whether that be draining on, like, harm in the sense of draining on your emotions, draining on your sleep, draining on your physical body. It just feels like there's this need to acknowledge again that this is a marathon. And if you want to, be in the race, as it were, there's a need to pace yourself. I feel like this is trying to prevent you from burnout. The overall energy of the month seems like it's trying to prevent you from burnout. And I want to lovingly say, Cancer, that, um, the middle of January brings Pluto in Aquarius. It also turns Uranus direct toward the end of the month. And, or that was so backwards. Anyways, so we have Pluto entering Aquarius. We have Aquarius season. And we also have Uranus turning direct, which after that, we will have no planets in, like, no major planets in retrograde, which is just going to speed things up even more. The combination of those things is just going to speed up things more. And, you know, Pluto in Aquarius on its own is going to speed things up more. So there is this energy of like, that you can't do this, right? I hope this makes sense. Number 47 reduces to 11. That's an awakening. That's like, hey, you, like this, it feels like it's trying to get your attention. Okay. What new level of power and inner strength is being ignited from within you? We have the wounded child here in the upright or light attribute position, awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children, opens the learning path of forgiveness. I think I've talked to you guys about this before, Cancer, in several of your past Tarotscopes. I'm pretty sure this hasn't just been like a one-time deal. There is an element of finding forgiveness for yourself. For those of you who feel as though you've been burning the candle at both ends, I feel like you're trying to prove something. And I don't even know if you are consciously aware of this or if you're consciously aware of where it comes from, but it does feel like there's this desire to want to like prove something. And I feel it's there because there's some kind of guilt or some kind of something wounding that needs to be forgiven. And not from anyone else, I don't feel. I feel like it's yourself. So I feel, you know, there's this energy of the ability perhaps to forgive yourself, or the willingness, being open to it, is that inner strength being ignited from within you. Yeah, I mean, it feels like, so if you look at the card here, this woman's back is turned. Okay, you can't see her face. And I feel almost there's this energy of like turning your back on yourself. And I feel like I'm not here. Here's the thing, Cancer. I'm not saying that you're just neglecting yourself, you know, all the way around. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there are facets of yourself, and perhaps it's your own wounding, your own trauma, your own healing internally, or perhaps it's certain desires or wants or paths, but it feels like you have, to some degree or another, turned your back on yourself. And there's this feeling of like, I don't know why, but like not being deserving or guilt or something like that. And I feel that again, this path is kind of being opened up for you to find that forgiveness within yourself, right? To move on from whatever this is. Because in several of your readings previously, there has been this energy of carrying something, a heavy burden for a long period of time that it's been like you can't seem to shake it. And perhaps that forgiveness of self, which I think I've mentioned, is what's keeping that hold, right? Is what is making you feel like you can't let it go. Okay, you also have here the Avenger in the shadow attribute or reverse position, resorting to violence in the name of a cause. This is going to sound probably really odd based on what I've just read, okay? But just as a reminder, I do read intuitively. Um, there's an energy here. It feels as though there, again, as I was mentioning up here, this imbalance, right? Things are trying to be brought back into balance. And I feel like with this Avenger card coming out in the reverse or shadow position, that you may have found yourself, I don't want to say that you've been resorted to violence. Okay, that's not how this is coming through. Again, that's why I said it may sound very odd based on what I've read here. But what I'm getting is there's that something that I feel is like incomplete within you. Okay? Or in, yeah, like been unable to forgive. So how do I put this? Okay, so it says here at the top, this is how this is coming through. In the light attribute or upright position, it says desire to balance the scales of justice. And as I mentioned, there's this feeling of guilt or unworthiness or something like that, where perhaps you have been unable to forgive yourself. Like there, or okay, or there maybe has been something where you feel an injustice has been done, something has been unfair, okay? And this may be where there's that inability to forgive, or there has been a resistance to forgiveness either of yourself or anyone else. Okay? And it feels like perhaps for some of you, maybe you've been directing that almost that, how do I say this, that desire for justice outwardly. So what do I mean by that? Maybe you see things going on around the world and you are, you get angry, you get upset, you feel some type of way, or you see maybe people in your experience or your circle experiencing certain things, and you kind of react very strongly to that. And I understand, Cancer, that you are very loving, very nurturing, very supportive, right? Very compassionate at your best, right? Like I totally understand that, and that certainly can play into this. But it feels almost like it. I'm going to be honest here, so please do not take this the wrong way, and know that this comes from a place of love. It feels like instead of turning that inward and finding that forgiveness for whatever injustice you feel has been thrust upon you or in your experience, right? Whether it be, something that perhaps you feel you did, or something you feel maybe was done to you, instead of turning that inward and dealing with that, it feels almost like, oh, wait, I'm focused on this, right? And I feel as though this may be what is coming up. And I feel like it's coming up to ignite. How do I say this? To implement or ignite that work, that inner work, to bring that balance, to kind of restore justice. Sometimes, Cancer, I don't know what this is about, but sometimes we don't get answers. So we don't get the closure that we want. Sometimes we have to be able to, find that closure for ourselves within ourselves. And I don't want you to think that I'm, insensitive to whatever this may be for you. Um, but there's this whole kind of energy of whatever this is that you're carrying, whatever wound this is for you that you may have been unable to forgive. It's like it's too heavy now. Like it's taken up too much. It's taken so much, right? Like I'm trying to word this in a very tactful way. And forgive me for sounding like I'm like chuckling and things, but I deal with, you know, sadness and things very weird. um, so I feel like there's this, it's like you can't keep carrying this. It's taking up too much space within you. It is consuming too much of you. It has control over you, right? And I say that I've been, maybe not in your exact position, whatever that may be, but I've certainly been in situations where, you know, I'm thinking that I have a hold or control on whatever this wound is, but really it's calling the shots from behind the scenes, and you don't really realize how much it's doing that until you get on the other side of it. And then you start seeing like, oh wow. Okay? So I just feel like that inner strength being ignited to find it within you to forgive yourself or to forgive others, whatever it may be, is coming forward to bring you to this new level where you are not carrying that around, where it's not taking up space, where it's not taking power from you. Okay? Again, please, 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 only take it if it resonates. We do have the athlete here in the upright or light attribute position. Dedication to transcendence of physical limits, including handicaps. Development of personal willpower and strength of spirit. Yeah, especially that second bit there. Development of personal willpower and strength of spirit. I do feel like whatever this is for you is probably going to take a lot of strength and a lot of willpower. I feel like it's going to take you like having to reach down within yourself and to find it, which is likely why there's such a heavy presence of God here to support you, right? Letting you know you're not alone in doing this. You don't have to try to carry this on your own. You don't have to try to sustain it on your own. You know, there are other ways. There are other ways, right? And if you allow yourself the opportunity to work through this, to learn how to forgive, right? To bring things back into balance through forgiveness and compassion, again, of yourself or others, I feel like it is going to take a lot of willpower and strength from within you. But again, it is to take you to this new level where I feel you recognize what you're truly capable of, how strong you truly are, how powerful you truly are, how you can overcome anything that you're faced with. I think it's interesting as well that we have go the distance and athlete. Because again, I feel like you've been dealing with this for a long time, and it almost feels as though you may have been dealing with it for so long that you may have felt as though you've like built up your strength to carry it, or you've gotten comfortable carrying it to some degree. But it's like, look, the reason why I'm saying, look at this fella here on the card. He reminds me of Atlas, the god Atlas, right? Who's carrying the celestial heavens upon his shoulders. But again, it's like that's not sustainable. Okay? And I feel like this is being brought to your attention. We do have the pioneer in the light the light attribute or upright position. Passion for doing and creating what has not been done before. Yeah, you know what? I feel like this is all unfolding because I feel like whatever this is, okay, whether it's burning the candle at both ends, carrying this around, whether it's burning the candle at both ends because you have a full plate on top of whatever wounds you may be carrying. Um, it feels like all of this is kind of like a foundation, like I said before, being laid, or a path opening up for you, um hoping that you release this thing to make room for what this is for you. Okay, because it feels like there's something that you're holding in your heart, that that some kind of potential that you have not met yet, you have not reached or tapped into yet, that wants to be released. There's something much bigger, is the word I want to say, much bigger for you, something much bigger planned for you. And I feel like how do I say this, you guys? And maybe this isn't for everyone, okay? I mean, certainly it's a collective reading, so there's that. But it feels like whatever this thing is you've been carrying has kind of blocked your heart a bit, right? It's like blocked your heart a bit. And so all of this is happening to ignite that power and inner strength so you can release it and let light into that place, or make room in your heart for this new thing. This thing that wants to be released from your heart, that wants to be shared with the world. And for some of you, maybe this is something that has never been done before. I'm getting fear as well. I feel like for some of you, this could be like big enough that you're like, how could I possibly make that happen? Maybe for some of you, you've even thought about this before, because like I said, there's this feeling of like turning your back on yourself. And I don't mean like every single aspect of yourself, though certainly that could be true. Okay. But I feel like there's this, it's like this, again, there's that, how could I possibly make this happen? I feel like some of you may have gotten glimpses of whatever this is that wants to be birthed through you, that wants to be, done, created. And there's this like, nope, there's no way I can do that. Like, I'm just going to put it to the back burner. I'm going to push it to the side. That's just a dream, a fantasy, a wish, a hope. So some of you, I feel like you may already kind of have some kind of inkling on what this is. Certainly that may not be for everyone. And if you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, either it's not for you, or you just haven't tapped into it yet, because there's something that's been blocking it from you. How do I say, blocking you from recognizing it? There's been a resistance there. And I feel like, that could be whatever it is that's been carried around, where there's been perhaps this inability to forgive. Okay. So, I feel like this is trying to take you to a new level. Truly. What's gaining momentum for you, Cancer? We do have, warrior woman. Have you answered your deepest calling? Now, whether you are a male or female is irrelevant. Have you answered your deepest calling? Right? Do you see what I'm saying? There's something within you that wants to come out. Right? Some kind of plan that God has for you that you have not yet acknowledged, you have not recognized in yourself, or you have pushed to the side, or have said like, I can't do that. There's no way I can make that happen. And I feel like it's coming in. It is coming in. I feel like it is like, hey, especially if you are someone who, allows yourself to forgive, to find forgiveness, to find, healing, a sense of peace, who allows yourself to rest from whatever burden you've been carrying, I feel like it wants to come in. Look behind her. Hopefully you can see this. There's this light beaming out from behind her. It's like it wants so badly to be at the forefront, right? Not at your back, not with your back turned to it, but at the front. It wants to come out, and I feel like this is what is gaining momentum. The crumbling, what are you clinging to? Yeah, I think, with this card, it's again, like I said, you have the number 4 here with that higher power. And as I was sharing up here for you, there is that element of wanting to create these foundations. Wanting to create these foundations. And as I've shared over here, there's that need to allow yourself to release certain things, to make room for what actually for what wants to come in, which will better serve you, which will, be more in alignment with your highest good, your soul's true essence, your heart, your soul, your truth. So I feel like the things that aren't working, whatever that is, whatever it is you're clinging to, even if it's a wound, okay, if it's a way of life, like whatever it is being made very obvious. Either because it's showing up for you again and again in some kind of way, or because things are breaking down to show you. Okay? Sometimes we get comfortable, like I was saying with that athlete card. Sometimes we get comfortable in places that really aren't good for us, places we don't even like, but we know how to survive there. And instead of going out into the open where we're exposed and we don't know the landscape and we don't know, the dangers, or it's risky, whatever, instead of venturing out, we'd rather stay in a place we don't even like. And I'm not speaking, to this as far as physical places are concerned. I mean, maybe that's true for you, but I'm speaking more along the lines of within ourselves, right? Sometimes we get attached to like our wounds and our traumas because we know how to, we feel like we know how to live with it. And this song has been coming up. It's already come up in previous Tarotscopes. But I'm being reminded yet again of the song Happy by NF. And essentially the song is saying, I'd rather sit here in my misery, my apathy, because I don't know how to be anything else. I don't know how to not have this thing. I don't know how to not carry this around with me. I don't know who I am without it. And that's pretty much what I'm getting here. Right? So I feel like this is gaining momentum where it's like, yeah, it's time, you got to move. You've got to make a move because things are crumbling and things are changing, and you can't sit here anymore, right? You can't stay in that place anymore. We have here as well, Star Mother. How can you mother yourself? Yes. Like I said, what's gaining momentum for you? Right? I was picking up on this energy of like burning the candle at both ends, having a full plate, feeling like you got to be here and here and here and here and here, feeling like you've turned your back on yourself, right? Like this feeling of I'm going to carry the weight of the world, all the things. And really, what's gaining momentum is, hey, there's a need to look after yourself because this is not sustainable. You cannot keep this up. There's this need to, like I was saying earlier, kind of like rest. I feel like, more the further we move through the month of January, the more you may be called to start paying attention to yourself. And I mean this on all facets. For some of you, maybe it's one or two things, maybe it's all of them, but it's like there's this need, there's going to be this calling to, for some, and probably for most of you, if you resonate with this, to go inward, to mother your inner world. Because I feel like you've been, like I said, very focused on maybe the physical, and it's kept you distracted, and it's kept you busy from the, how do I say, like distracted from the inner work. It's kept you busy. You've not turned that view towards yourself and gone inward. That's how this feels. And again, you guys, I'm not judging. I'm not, saying anything about this place. If this is where you are, we've all been there. We've all been there. Regardless of how awakened one is, how together they may seem. We've all been in a place where we have, not wanted to go inward. Okay? So know that, you're not the first, and you certainly won't be the last. But again, there's this, what I feel is gaining momentum is that need to turn that gaze inward and to ask yourself, like, what is it I need? What is it that I want? How can I be my most favorite self? What is that going to look like? And to mother yourself in that way, right? The other thing I'm getting from this is that certainly, a mother is going to forgive. A mother is going to support. A mother is going to nurture. A mother is going to love unconditionally. A mother is going to care for and be tender with their child and the children of others. And I feel like this is about giving yourself those things. Okay? That is what I feel like is gaining momentum. Hold, I don't want to say holding space for yourself, but it feels similar to that. Like giving yourself permission to, how do I say, like giving yourself permission to give yourself compassion, to give yourself grace, to give yourself, like, I don't know, it keeps coming back to you, Cancer. And I'm not saying that there aren't perhaps external people or experiences that play a part into this, but it keeps coming back. The energy keeps bringing me back to inner you. Okay? And I feel like this is what is gaining momentum. Like your inner you is like, I'm coming out. Hope you're ready. Like that's kind of how it's coming through. Okay, so let's take a look at the advice or messages that will best support and serve you and your journey moving forward. We do have trustworthy friends. Thank you, angels, for surrounding me with people I can trust and love. I feel like I'm just going to be real here, Cancer. I feel like you take a lot of things and just take it inward and leave it there. Right? I feel like you try to be pretty independent is what it feels like. And I feel like this is coming through because it's like you're not alone. You're not alone. Now, that I'm not saying like, that means to like not dump, that's not the word, I apologize. Yes, that doesn't mean that other people are going to carry your burdens, okay? Or that they should tiptoe around them or things like this. That's not what I'm saying, and I hope that makes sense. But what it does mean is that they can hold space for you, right? They can, like, I feel like there are people in your life who would be like, I see you. I get it. I understand, right? I feel like they would just again kind of see you and would support you, right? Um and help to lift you up. I feel like for some of you, you already have people like this. I feel like there are already people in your experience who have in the past or are currently like trying to lift you up, trying to, how do I say this? Because I don't feel like they're trying to necessarily like make you do anything, but I feel like the way that they behave around you or interact with you or something, you would probably feel as though like they're trying to like be that light for you. Does that make sense? But I don't even know, you guys. I'm trying to explain this. I apologize. Um, because I don't want to say that they're necessarily even trying to be the light for you. I feel like to some degree they probably are. Maybe they're bringing illumination, wisdom, truths, right? Awareness, perspectives. But I feel more than anything, they're like trying. How do I say this? It's like, yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's like mirroring to you the light you have within yourself. But I feel like you may not be seeing it that way. Like they may inspire you, or maybe you feel like they encourage you or something like that, or maybe you admire them to some degree or another. But there's actually this, is it's like they're showing you what you hold within you, but maybe you haven't awoken to yet. Does that make sense? So it's like trying to get you to see your own light, even though they may not be conscious that that's what they're doing. Perhaps maybe some of them are, but I feel like you have these people in your life and they've been strategically placed. I'm hearing strategically placed. Spiritual support. I was just going to say you don't have to do it alone, which has come through certainly already and come through here with this trustworthy friends card, but now it's coming through again with spiritual support. Dear angels, I allow you to support me as I grow to become more spiritually aware. Oh, I got chills. I got chills for you, Cancer, because this is what it is, right? What I was speaking about here with wanting that connection to be stronger, right? With wanting to provide you with rest, right? Letting you know you're not alone. Like I certainly do not feel like you're alone, either physically or spiritually. You are not doing this on your own. I think it's just a matter of allowing that, right? Letting it in, because like I said, I feel like you probably are someone who is maybe quite independent, or try to be very independent, try to carry the things on your own, try to, you know, like I said, carry the weight of the world. But the messages that are coming through here is like you don't have to do that, right? It's almost like self-inflicted punishment, but you don't have to do it alone. Yeah, take time to breathe. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, resting in the arms of God, right? Come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take time to breathe. Thank you, angels. I breathe with ease, knowing you're here. Right? Again, you're not alone. Even if you feel like you're alone, even if you've convinced yourself that you're alone, okay? There is support here for you. And the support, spiritually and physically, is what is going to best support and serve you moving forward. Right? I feel like some of you may have been feeling like you've been holding your breath for a long time. And I'm going to be honest, for some of you, it feels like that because I feel like the breathing in, almost like you feel the pain of whatever it is you've been carrying around. Even if whatever it is you've been carrying around is simply that you've been, trying to do it all, whatever that means. It just feels like you've been holding your breath. And it's like, if I breathe, like, I don't know what happens next. Oh, yes, we have the, yes. Okay, so we have inner power, the Divine Father. Thank you, Divine Father, for co-creating my world with me. Like I said, I'm getting fear coming up. But like I said, I feel like God is really reaching for you, wanting that connection, offering that rest to you. Right? Again, even if you feel like you've been holding your breath because you've been trying to figure it all out, find all the solutions, do all the things. Okay? Even if that is all that resonates with you here, what is coming through is, first of all, you're definitely not alone. Second of all, you do not, I repeat, you do not have to carry it all on your own. And God, Divine Father, Source, Universe, whatever you call it, wants to support you and is offering to support you. And is, actually trying to give you a path to step into, as I was saying earlier, that kind of like collaboration or cooperation between you and God in order to kind of accommodate you so that you can release some of these things. I'm actually going to read this about this card from the guidebook for you. I just feel like it would be helpful for someone out there. So give me a sec here. All right, again, this is advice or messages to best support and serve you and your journey moving forward. Certainly taking in everything that we've already discussed. You are blessed to receive the support of the Universal Father today. You have the power within you to create your world, and you are being encouraged to see that this power is only in place when you are coming from a space of love. Release any toxic feelings and feel blessed, knowing God is with you today. You are so powerful when you share your love with the world. You're being encouraged by God and his angels to be a powerful leader of love. There are two ways of accepting power. You can use it to instill fear and overpower others, or you can use it to guide and empower yourself and others. Lead by example and be the powerful, loving leader you desire to see in the world. You are powerful and filled with love. So I just want to pause for a moment because you have this pioneer card. Passion for doing and creating what has not been done before. And Cancer, as I was sharing earlier, right, at your best, you are nurturing, supportive, compassionate, healing, even unconditionally loving, right? You have a beautiful, beautiful heart. And I feel like this has something to do with whatever this is. Because this is coming through, right, as a leader. Like God is saying, this is the position that I need you in. So on the card here is the god Shiva. Shiva is the Hindu god of strength and power. He is the ultimate father figure and is known for his leadership, and fiery energy. He is known as the destroyer and the cosmic dancer. But it is important to say that he is another expression of love. When called upon, he does destroy the negative energy of our lives, but he can lighten up our world like the sun. In this deck, we have focused on him as the Divine Father, as he gives us support and strength as a representation of our Father in heaven, God. Right? So, again, you have so much support here for you, Cancer. And with that energy of Shiva being the destroyer coming through with the crumbling, what are you clinging to? And this, carrying the weight of the world, burning the candle at both ends, wanting to receive you to rest. I just feel like God is orchestrating things for you and is really trying to move things around so that you're not, carrying that weight. Certainly not on your own. So that you can release that and make room for what is coming, something bigger, something better, right? Like I said before, your most favorite self. There are plans that perhaps you are not yet aware of that are being orchestrated. It couldn't be any more obvious to me, the amount of support that you have. And should you be open to it, I feel as though come the end of January, you could be feeling much more rested, much lighter, at peace, or balanced. But of course, the choice is yours, right? No amount of support can force you to do anything, can force you to, forgive, force you to love yourself, force you to care for yourself, force you to choose yourself. Like there's nothing nowhere that can do that. It has to be your choice. But you have so much support if that is the choice you want to make. That is what I have for you, Cancer, for the month of January 2024. I know that this has been a bit heavy. It's been a bit, I would say emotional even. Or at least it has felt that way. And, I know that, we all have things that we struggle to let go of, that we blame ourselves for, that we struggle to find forgiveness for, or we carry things that we struggle to forgive in others, or we blame them for, and it can be so very challenging to let those things go. But once on the other side, there is something that is quite indescribable that happens. and it is available to you. So I pray that January brings that for those who are ready. I pray that you are able to give to yourself, to turn your face towards what it is that wants to stream from within you, stream outwardly from within you. I pray that you're able to give yourself a break, to breathe, to rest. And I pray that you're able to see this connection that is wanting to be strengthened between God and you. If something here has resonated, please do remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your time, your energy, your attention. I am sending you so much love, lots of hugs. Please know you can do absolutely anything that you decide you want to do. Take care of your beautiful, loving, worthy, supported, guided, and protected soul. Peace be with you and within you, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye.